Hey there, welcome in for the final day of week 4. If you've been with us all week, right here, give me a high five. That was you, nice. We are moving through this thing and it is awesome, going through the Gospel of Luke together. Today we're on chapter 8, verse 26. We're going 26 to 39. I love this story. It's super cool watching Jesus and how he interacts right here with a demon-possessed man. So Luke 8, 26 to 39 is our reading for the day. It's a fun one. It's also just one of those like amazing ones, and I really like it to see the different reactions people have to Jesus. So let's get into it. We're leaving off right after Jesus calmed the storm. They were sailing across and Jesus calmed the storm. And so we pick up and they're still sailing right here. They sailed to the region of the Gerasenes, which is across the lake from Galilee, the lake that Jesus calmed the storm on. When Jesus stepped ashore, he was met by a demon-possessed man from the town. For a long time, this man had not worn clothes or lived in a house, but had lived in the tombs. He's kind of lost it, and when he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell at his feet, shouting at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, don't torture me." So these demons instantly know who Jesus is, and they are very afraid of him. For Jesus had commanded the impure spirit to come out of the man. Many times it had seized him, and though he was chained hand and foot and kept under guard, he had broken out of his chains and been driven by the demons into solitary places. So this guy is, not only is he demon possessed, but we see that it's very powerful, the spirits that are within him, because many times this guy had been captured by the people of the town trying to help him, bound in chains so that he doesn't hurt himself or others. And it says he breaks out of these chains, and now the demons had driven him out into these tombs so that he's just kind of living like a wild animal. Gnarly. And so this is the guy that Jesus confronts and meets. And so Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" And he's not talking to the guy, he's talking to the demons. So this is gnarly. "Legion," he replied, because many demons had gone into him. So the demons replied to Jesus, "We are legion," like we are a lot, because we are many demons within this man. And they begged Jesus repeatedly not to order them to go into the abyss. A large herd of pigs was feeding. This just gets crazier and crazier. A large herd of pigs was feeding there on the hillside. The demons begged Jesus to let them go into the pigs, and he gave them permission. When the demons came out of this man, they went into the pigs. So, to recap here, Jesus has sent demons out of the man, and he's allowed them to do this thing that they asked, is to go into a herd of pigs. And so the demons immediately leave the man, go into the pigs, and this giant herd of pigs is drowned. And then we're like, what the heck is going on here? But what you're seeing is that these demons, these spiritual enemies, they exist. They have made it their mission to just cause chaos. They lived in this man, and they caused him nothing but hurt and pain, and drove him out, made him crazy. And now that they immediately go into this herd of pigs and just cause more destruction. And so we see this spiritual enemy that we all have. It's a dangerous thing, but it exists to just cause chaos, to destroy the world God has created. And demons, that's what they really are. They're angels who have rebelled against God, and so now their mission is to destroy what he has made. And it's really crazy to see, and a really good book if you're interested in demons and spiritual warfare, all of that stuff, because it is confusing, and if you haven't studied it or looked into it, it's really hard to understand. Again, Bible Project has an awesome video on the spirit world, and maybe I'll put that tag up in here as well. But C.S. Lewis has a book called The Screwtape Letters, and that book speaks on how it's a conversation between two demons. That's how he wrote the book, and the whole point of it is to show us how these demons really attack us and try to distract us and cause chaos in our lives to distract us from doing the thing God would want us to do with our lives. And so it's really interesting, but it's this is kind of a sad story because the pig, poor pig. But it's important to just see this enemy, this chaos-causing enemy that we're up against in this life, and how Jesus has power over that enemy. That's awesome. Jesus has power over this, and Jesus is with us and in us, and so we have access to that power. When those tending the pigs saw what happened, they ran off and reported this in the town and countryside, and the people went out to see what happened. When they came to Jesus, they found the man from whom the demons had gone out, sitting at Jesus' feet, dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. They're afraid because this is the same guy that they tried to wrap in chains and capture, and he broke out of those chains and went crazy and ran away naked and all that. And so now they come up to Jesus, this guy they don't know, and Jesus has been able to calm the man, restore the man, clothe the man nice, and the people's reaction is fear of like, who is this guy? What power does he have? Those who had seen it told the people how the demon-possessed man had been cured. So those who had watched it happen told them, Jesus told the demons to leave, and they left. Then all the people of the region of the Gerasenes asked Jesus to leave them because they were overcome with fear. So he got in the boat and left. That's kind of, to me, that makes me sad. It's like these people had Jesus with them, and it's so understandable because he is scary in a sense. Jesus has unlimited power, ultimate power, and to just be confronted with his power would be terrifying if you didn't know his heart. His power alone is terrifying. We all should have a fear of God and what he has done and what he's able to do. It's a good fear, a reverence, almost a respect for him. If you don't know his heart, it stays fear. But the Bible tells us that perfect love casts out all fear. And to see the story of Jesus, to know him, to get to know him, you get to know the most powerful being in the world and the most loving being in the world. There's nobody who loves greater than Jesus, and his love for us, the lost, the broken, it's an amazing thing. And so this is just a sad passage because these people saw his power without seeing his love, even though you could argue he did love that guy pretty well, who he cast the demons out. But yeah, that's just an interesting note to take. And then listen, this ending verse here is so cool, just how the demon-possessed man interacts with Jesus briefly. The man from whom the demons had gone out begged to go with him, but Jesus sent him away, saying, "Return home and tell how much God has done for you." So the man went away and told all over town how much Jesus had done for him. So it's so cool. This guy got it, right? This guy is like, Jesus just saved my life, and he wanted to be with him so badly. And I think this is one of the few times Jesus doesn't ask a person to follow him, but rather he said, and probably because, so Jesus has just been told to leave the region, right? Jesus is not able to go in himself and spread the good news. But what does he do? He sends a messenger on his behalf. He says, "Return home and tell how much God has done for you." So Jesus still does not abandon that town, even though they sent him away. He sends this man in who is now more than any, this guy's life was saved by Jesus. How much will he spread this good news of what Jesus has done for him? And so he's gonna go into this town and tell the people about Jesus. And so the man went away and told all over town how much Jesus had done for him. How cool is that? So this little interaction has actually provided a way for Jesus to go to another place and have a messenger tell about him in this region. We talk a lot about loving God, and that's so important. The greatest commandment, right, is love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. But there's also a big theme in the Bible about fearing God. And I think that might be a thing that's very lost on us today. Maybe we have a great love for God in this generation of like everybody love everybody and love is the most important. And that's true. Love is a very important thing, but within the Bible there's this aspect of fearing God, and I think that's tied to the humility thing, but we need to have a healthy fear of God, a fear of him in the sense of like a respect and reverence for who he is. Really, it's tied to humility, but like understanding you are God and I am your creation, and I want to worship and respect you for who you are. And then love comes in, and it's like this loving relationship, but it's still like understanding who he is and who we are in relation, and loving him in that context is very important. So my question for you today is, do you have a fear of the Lord? Do you have that humility and respect in knowing who God is and knowing who you are, and just respecting him out of that first, like, God, you are God, your way is the right way, not my way. That type of thing. So ask yourself, like, do I have a reverence for God? Do I have a respect, a healthy fear? Proverbs says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and so that's a super important thing within the story of the Bible. But what's so cool is remembering that verse of perfect love casts out all fear. So it's a good fear to have with the Lord. It's a good thing to respect and revere him for him and his power. Your prayer point for today is, I would say, just make today a day of praising God for his power, his greatness, how good he is, how awesome he is. I think we need to do that often, lift up to God, like, God, you are amazing, you are all powerful, you are God, and thank you for just being a loving God. Just make it a praise and thankful prayer today. That would be my prayer point for you. This was an awesome reading. Thanks for tuning in. Man, end of week 4. We are moving through this thing. I really hope you've been following along. If you haven't, go back. These videos are forever. So go back and catch up so that you understand this story, because the book of Luke is one long story, and our whole goal in this is to get you to read through the gospel so that you're understanding the person of Jesus, because Jesus is God's heart revealed to us. The more you know him, the more you know God. The more you understand Jesus' forgiveness and what he came to bring, the more your love for him will grow. And so spend time in this, pray with him, talk with him, journal any questions you might have to him, and watch him meet you and grow you in this. So that's our goal. Well done if you've made it through this far. Thanks for tuning in. See ya tomorrow.